Hey everyone! Today I'm going to be riding New York City's most popular form of transportation from Times Square to the financial district. I am a native New Yorker, so I'm going to give you some tips on riding the subway and basically guide you from start to finish on what to do and where to enter the subway. If you're a complete newbie at this, I'll help you. I am recording this video on a Friday afternoon in December 2023. So if conditions change or the fare goes up, you know this was recorded in December 2023. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now the closest subway station to here is the Times Square 42nd Street station. The financial district is another popular tourist destination, and I figure most of the hotels are here in Times Square, so this will help you get oriented and where you need to go. Although a lot of people like to hate on the subway, it is an efficient method of transportation, and there's a reason why so many people use it on a daily basis. Even though it may be old, it gets you places. And it's not as unsafe as other people may want you to think it is. I find it rather safe, especially if you're using it during the day. At nighttime, past 10 o'clock at night, that's when you might have to be a little bit more aware than usual, but that's pretty much in general wherever you are. Later at night, there really tends to have more disruptions and people causing trouble. The financial district is really known for the New York Stock Exchange, all the big Wall Street banks. The World Trade Center is there. There's a nice shopping area with the Oculus shopping mall. So this is 42nd Street. There's a bunch of subway entrances here. That's the main one where I'm going to be entering in. The one that's all lit up. But there is one back here behind this construction wall. I don't know if you're viewing this video in the future, but this building is expected to be finished renovating in 2024, so that construction wall might be down, but this is the subway entrance I'm going to take today. Not all the subway entrances are going to look like this, by the way. But in general, most of them will have the name of the station on the outside and the lines that serve the station on the outside. So here, NQRWS, which is the Grand Central Shuttle, 1, 2, 3, and 7 trains serve this station. And ACE is at 8th Avenue. That's actually a block away, but it's connected to the 42nd Street Times Square station. Here's a subway map. This is where we are right now, Times Square 42nd Street. You can see that it is the largest subway station and the busiest subway station in the system, so all these lines are connected here. ACE 1, 2, 3, RW, NQ, S, BD, FM, And 7, again, this complex is so huge that it connects the 7 train at 2 different stations. But we're mainly focused on here. We don't want to do some extra walking. And basically, the financial district is all down here. Any of these stations will work, but I'm going to take you to the World Trade Center. And from here, we have a couple of options. The first one we have is the 123. And you can see that the 1 train goes to WTC Cortland. WTC is short for World Trade Center, which is where I'm going to be taking you. And the 2 and 3 train, it branches off from the 1 train and goes towards the east side of Manhattan. While I can take that too, it's a much longer walk. And that's something you have to consider too when taking the New York City Subway. Make sure you know what station you're getting off at, because you may be getting on a train and it goes to a different place where you expected it to, especially if it's an express train. And the express trains, they won't make the same stops as the local trains. I know in other cities, other metro systems, there's 1 line that serves all the stations, but not here in New York. You can see from Times Square, 42nd Street, the next stop is 34th Street Penn Station on the 1, 2, and 3. But on the 1, 2, 3, the next stop is 14th Street for the express train. But the local train is 28th Street, then 23rd Street, then 18th Street, and then 14th Street. So that's something you have to keep in mind. Also, if you take a look here at this yellow branch, no one really refers to the subway in New York City by the color, by the way. The color is supposed to designate which part of Midtown Manhattan the subway goes through. That's as a general rule, but no one refers to it by the color, only the letter or the number. If you look down here, once you get past Canal Street here in Lower Manhattan, the N and Q train, the express trains, will actually go right into Brooklyn, and we won't go to Lower Manhattan, so it needs to be the R and W from here. And as I said over here before, the ACE is on 8th Avenue, so that's going to be a long walk to get the E train to World Trade Center. So that's out of the question. So the best trains to take from here are the 1 train or the R and W, to keep it short. And as a general advice, I prefer to take lettered trains over numbered trains, because the lettered trains, they have more space. And that was due to history. Those lettered trains used to be owned by a company called the BMT and the IND. BMT standing for Brooklyn Manhattan Transit Company, and the IND was the city operated subway. And then the lettered subways are the old IRT lines, the Interborough Rapid Transit, which use a shorter subway and narrower cars. So when possible, try to take lettered trains over numbered trains, because you have more space. And that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take the R or W to Cortlandt Street, which is connected to the World Trade Center. But any of these stations here, Cortlandt Street, Rector Street, Whitehall Street, will also be the financial districts. They're kind of close to each other. I hope I didn't lose you with that long explanation with the subway map, but I do think it's important. Now for payments, it can't be any easier these days in 2023. They have the Omni system, which is short for One Metro New York. It's as simple as tapping your contactless payment card or smartphone with Apple Pay or Google Pay, Samsung Pay, and it'll take it. No apps you need to download or anything. The old-fashioned method is with MetroCard, and you would buy the MetroCards at these machines here, but they're servicing them right now, and it's a long process. You don't need to do that now. You can if you want to, but there's $1 extra fee for a new card, and then those cards are kind of flimsy, they break. But this is the subway entrance. Currently the fare for one ride is $2.90. It also includes a free transfer to the New York City bus system within a 2-hour window after you first enter. And the best thing is, with the contactless payment method or smartphone, the fare is capped at the price of a 7-day unlimited Metro card, $34. So you don't have to worry about calculating if you need to buy an unlimited Metro card or not. It's already calculated for you. So just tap your phone over here and it'll let you in. Very simple. Also, I'm using iPhone. I know in the iPhone wallet settings, you can set one of the cards to be express transit. So you don't need to use Face ID to get past the turnstile. You just put it on the reader. You don't need to worry about showing your face and spending more time. Now, the thing about safety on the subway, the place where I find the subway to be most dangerous is on the platform, because you really don't know what people are going to do down there, and most of the platforms, they don't have screen doors. So we need to look for the train that we need. Here is NQRW downtown in Brooklyn, the elevator, and then over here, NQRW. Here's the staircase. I always tell people when they're waiting for the train, try to stand in the middle of the platform. So here you can see, make sure you know which train you're taking, because it matters a lot, as we saw with the subway map. You don't want to get on the wrong train. And if you're unsure what train you need to take, they have descriptions of the trains here. Here's downtown in Brooklyn via Broadway Express. Hello. And here's downtown in Brooklyn via Broadway. Different descriptions. So here's the R&W. I think a train's coming now. Oh, it's the other side. That's the Q train, which we don't need. You can see over here, there's also a electronic billboard, gives you the status of the trains coming. Our train to Bay Ridge coming in 1 minute, which is in Brooklyn, Bay Ridge. So it's a bunch of stops. It doesn't show our destination here. It's further stops. Stay away from the yellow platform edge. Actually, to keep it simple for tourists, now that I think about it, the R and the W lines are like the best tourist lines because they go to a lot of the destinations that tourists will want to visit along Broadway. So you can see a very busy train, a lot of people getting off. That's a sound we're going to be hearing often. Stand clear of the closing doors, please. As you can see, there's a lettered train, so a lot of space here. And you don't want to be doing this either, holding the doors or leaning on the doors, because bad things could happen.
Missed it. Hey, miss, step back.
The seats are made out of plastic, so they're not the most comfortable in the world, but it does get you from place to place. Now, next stop, 34th Street, Herald Square, very close to Macy's and Penn Station, which is just a block away.
To the B, D, F, M, N, and Q trains. Transfer is available to the M34 Select Bus Service. Connection is available to the PATH trains.
This is an accessible station. The elevator is at the rear of the platform.
So at every station, you'll get an announcement, what stop it is, what lines are available to transfer, and if it's an accessible station or not. The subway in general isn't very accessible, but they've been trying to make it better.
The next stop is 28th Street.
And I know people like to make fun of the announcements being unclear, but on these newer trains, it's all automated, so it's pretty good. Some of the older trains, the announcements can still be unclear due to like outdated PA systems, but it's been getting better. The thing is also with the subway, you do not get cell phone service in between stations, but at the platforms, you can.
This is 28th Street.
The doors are going to open on this side for this station. This station, 28th Street, is a local station, so the N and Q, which are express at this time, will skip this station.
This is a Brooklyn-bound R local train. The next stop is 23rd Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
The next stop, 23rd Street, is known for the Flatiron Building. The Harry Potter store is also there. It's a bit of a quieter part of Midtown Manhattan, which I really like. Madison Square Park is also there.
It'll take us like 1 minute to get to the school. That's the other thing, is making sure you walk right. I know, it's fucking stupid.
This is 23rd Street. Transfer to the M23 Select Bus Service. This is a Brooklyn-bound R local train. The next stop is 14th Street Union Square.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
A fun fact, those hats against the wall are a reference to the Flatiron area's past, because this was always really known as a windy area and people's hats were flying off. So that's why they have them there on the wall. In fact, there is a phrase called 23 skidoo, because there were people who came down here specifically to see women's skirts fly up from the wind, and they passed a law making it illegal. Hence the name 23 skidoo.
14th Street, Union Square.
Attention everyone. If you have questions or need to report an issue to the police, the NYCD is located at the station.
Transfer is available to the 4, 5, 6, L, N, and Q trains. Transfer is also available to the M14 Select Bus Service. This is an accessible station. The elevator is at the front of the platform.
Right now, Union Square is the site of a big Christmas market. It's worth seeing. It's also the site of Whole Foods as well, and Barnes & Noble.
The next stop is 8th Street, NYU.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Another thing about the subway too, in general, the people in the subway, they're kind of quiet and don't really make eye contact. They're more reserved, so in general, if you don't bother anyone else, they won't bother you. But occasionally you will see like a mentally disturbed person on the subway who you may feel uncomfortable with at that point. If you find it reasonable, get off at the next stop and change cars.
This is 8th Street, NYU.
As you heard, this is where NYU is located, New York University. It's also very close to Washington Square Park and Astor Place.
This is a Brooklyn-bound R local train. The next stop is Prince Street.
There's actually a lot of nightlife in this area too.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
If you go on 8th Street past 4th Avenue, it's called St. Mark's Place. There's a lot of great restaurants there. Now, next stop, Prince Street, is Soho. Soho used to be a big artist area, but now it's mostly shopping, especially along Broadway. SOHO is an acronym that stands for South of Houston Street.
This is Prince Street. This is a Brooklyn-bound R local train. The next stop is Canal Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
So Canal Street here, this is very close to Chinatown, and it's also the southern boundary of Soho. The express train platform N&Q is actually much closer to Chinatown than this one, which is about a block and a half away.
This is Canal Street. Transfers available to the 6, J, N, Q, and V trains.
Oh, one more thing about transfers that I didn't tell you about. If you ever have to exit a fare gate or a turnstile, most likely you're going to have to pay again to enter the system. So there's no out-of-system free transfers,
R local train.
except for select stations.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
So only at the stations where you can access another subway through like the passageways and the staircases already in the station can you get free transfers. You can see subway seats aren't exactly the cleanest. There's actually a information board here too that tells you what the next stop is and the time, and also the route map tells you the next stops and what trains are available.
City Hall.
Attention everyone, there are 150 accessible subway stations. Please check mta.info/elevators for real-time elevator status at your station.
This is a Brooklyn-bound R local train. The next stop is Cortlandt Street.
That's the station we're getting off, Cortlandt Street.
Clear of the closing doors,
This stop,
please.
City Hall, is obviously the New York City City Hall. It's also very close to the Brooklyn Bridge. So if you want to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge, this is your stop. After I get off, I'll show you the Oculus shopping mall And I'll also walk over to the New York Stock Exchange. There's a really nice Christmas tree there now.
Transfer is available to the 2, 3, A, C, and E trains. Connection is available to F.
This is an accessible station. The elevator, front and rear of the platform.
Very loud section of the New York City Subway there.
This is a Brooklyn-bound R
Okay.
local train. The next stop is Rector Street.
The Oculus is right here, the World Trade Center. This is also a big transportation hub. You can get multiple lines on the New York City Subway here, the PATH trains to New Jersey, and ferry services to New Jersey as well. Now it's just a short walk over to the New York Stock Exchange. There's the Oculus building, and that's the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere. One World Trade Center, right behind it. So 1 block away from the subway station is Broadway.
That day, there was an empty sand lot.
We'll need to walk on Broadway to Wall Street.
Multiple like Thursday.
If you want to know why that subway station is called Cortlandt Street, here's your answer. This is Cortlandt Street. This over here is Zuccotti Park. It's very nicely lit for this time of the year. Lots of Christmas trees in there. Wall Street is just 1 block away. This used to be a subway entrance and now it's a construction barrier. This is Trinity Church.
That's a country. No, not at all.
It's getting kind of busy here. There's a big Christmas tree by the New York Stock Exchange that just got lit yesterday. All right, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this New York City subway ride and walk from Times Square to the New York Stock Exchange and the financial districts. If you found this video useful, hit the like button, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone. Take care.